Oh my god, this Mario Kart World, this looks insane. Hey guys, this is Jesse. Welcome to my channel. If you guys are excited for Mario Kart World like I am, please consider subscribing to my channel, hitting that like button, and commenting down below what you guys are excited for this upcoming Mario Kart game for Nintendo Switch 2. I am so freaking hyped. I cannot believe Nintendo pulled out the big guns for this game. Honestly, I'm impressed. Why am I impressed? Let's dive into those in this video. I'm going to be going over all of my analysis over footage on Treehouse, what they showed in the initial Direct Switch presentation, and anything I found through the Nintendo Switch 2 experience that people have been going to see and have footage. So with that all being said, if you guys are excited, like I said, comment, subscribe, hit that like button, and we're going to go into this right now. But the characters, like, come on. I have never seen the variety in the Mario world in a roster before. The last time I've been this impressed was in Mario Super Sluggers in the Wii for 2008, I believe. And that had an amazing roster, fun characters that you would never pick. And I feel like Nintendo's bringing this kind of energy back. I feel like it's like a resurgence of the GameCube era, and I'm all for that. All right, so we're gonna go over quickly all the characters that have been confirmed so far. And so these are the base 24 characters that we've seen in the initial trailer, and these are the characters you're going to find out that have the costumes that we're going to be unlocking. So we'll go Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Toad, Daisy, Rosalina, Donkey Kong with his new design, which I really like, Wario, Koopa Troopa, Pauline, Waluigi, Toadette, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, and Baby Rosalina all returning. Bowser Jr., Lakitu, King Boo, Shy Guy, and then my favorite, Birdo, is there. And next we have some characters that are new to this console series, but they are from Mario Kart Tour. Drybones, Wiggler, as well from 3DS, and then the rest are from Tour. Hammer Bro, Chargin' Chuck, Nabbit, and Monty Mole. And now we get 20 brand new characters that have been confirmed. All of these characters are insane. I am so happy. We have Goomba, Piranha Plant, Pianta, my favorite from Mario Sunshine, Spike the Dolphin. We have a cow, which is the fan favorite already, Pokey, who I'm super happy for, Parabitty Bug, Penguin, Sidestepper the Crab, Snowman, which is insane, Cataquack, which I freaking love, Fishbone, who I didn't really know, Peepa, which I know from Mario Party, Stingbee, Rocky Wrench, Coin Coffer, Cheep Cheep, which is amazing, and Conk Door, which is hilarious too. So at this point, we have 50 confirmed total characters, not counting the costumes. And I'm sure there's going to be more, but we'll see if I can get to another prediction video in the future. But I'll probably, at the end of this video, I'll make some predictions for characters. Now we're going to move on to tracks and the map. So for the tracks in the game confirmed, we have 30 courses, I believe they are. There's actually 32 if you have the Grand Prix format, 4 courses, and there's 8 cups going to be, even though the special cup hasn't been revealed yet, but we know that's going to be there with Rainbow Road. So that would equal 32 courses. However, there's actually just 30 courses in the game. If you look at the map and count them all, as you see right here, Peach Stadium and Crown City are actually shown twice in the Grand Prix. And it's because they have different variants, and you're going to be exploring different parts of those cities in the different cups. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that's switched, and if people are going to have like any preferences on which version or alternate of the city are better. So now we're going to go in order of the Grand Prix, and we're listing the tracks in each cup. In the Mushroom Cup is Mario Brothers Circuit, Crown City, Whistletop Summit, and DK Spaceport, which is already looking to be one of my favorites. In the Flower Cup, Desert Hills from the DS, Shy Guy Bazaar from the 3DS, Wario Stadium from N64, and Airship Fortress from the DS. So this is interesting change. Now they have the Nitro Cups, so like Flower Star Special, but there are retro courses in the cups. So now they can mix and match between courses and cups. And that's the first time in series history that's ever happened. So that's really interesting. And I'm sure this is to do with the open world setup. It would be almost impossible for them to set up a map and have the tracks all into their cups, it would just be a lot. I could imagine that logistical nightmare. All right, now we're gonna move on to the Star Cup. We have DK Pass coming back from the Nintendo DS, Starview Peak, Sky High Sundae returning from Tour, and then Wario Shipyard from the 3DS. I'm really excited for that one. The Special Cup next. This is the one that we haven't seen necessarily, but we know that it's gonna contain Acorn Heights, Mario Circuit from SNES, Peach Stadium, and Rainbow Road. And so the Rainbow Road was leaked through Nintendo of Korea, I believe. They had this image that they showed the logo for Rainbow Road. We don't have any footage of the actual race itself, just the logo. And it looks like a very traditional Rainbow Road in space with some clouds. So I really hope they really go all out with that Rainbow Road. Next up is the Shell Cup, Koopa Troopa Beach from Super Nintendo, Faraway Oasis. This one has all the zebras and giraffes, looks really fun. Crown City again, and Peach Stadium again. So the Shell Cup has 2 returning cities. So I wonder if that one will feel like the most samey, but I wonder. Okay, next we have the Banana Cup. This is Peach Beach, Double Dash, GameCube, Salty Salty Speedway, Dino Jungle from GameCube as well, and the Great Question Block Ruins. With the Leap Cup, Cheap Falls, Dandelion Depths, Blue Cinema, and Dry Bones Burnout. And lastly, the Lightning Cup for Moo Moo Meadows from the Wii, Choco Mountain N64, Toad's Factory from the Wii, and Bowser's Castle. So if you add up all of those courses together, 30 courses, like I said, 16 of them are brand new and 14 are retro courses. All right, next we're going to talk about the Knockout Rally. This is probably my most anticipated mode. I've been wanting this forever. I'm one of the people that have played 24-player and knockout modes on the Wii. So I've been really anticipating these kind of modes where people get eliminated, and it's a little more intense, a little more battle royale, a little more stakes. And I already know that this was going to be a phenomenon and people were going to love it. So seeing all the positive reactions of people playing it, I'm super pleased. Okay, so quickly we're going to go through all of the rallies. So differently from the Grand Prix in this game, the knockout rallies are all from one track to another part of the map. So you're not going to be staying in the tracks and doing 3 laps, generally like the Grand Prix, at least for the first track. So for the Golden Rally, it's going to go from Desert Hills all the way to Acorn Heights. The Ice Rally is going from Sky High Sundae to Crown City. The Moon Rally is from Bowser's Castle to Faraway Oasis. The Spiny Rally reaches Boo Cinema all the way to Wario Shipyard. Cherry Rally, Peach Beach to Desert Hills. The Acorn Rally goes from Toad's Factory to DK Pass. The Cloud Rally is from Airship Fortress to the Great Question Block Ruins. And the Heart Rally is from Shy Guy Bazaar to Peach Stadium. So the fun thing about Knockout mode is that what you have to do is always stay above the placement indicated at the checkpoints throughout your race. So as long as you're not the last 4 people left in the race at that checkpoint, you will be sure to survive and make it a little further. If you are one of the back 4 and you get eliminated, then you're out of the race and you cannot win the cup at the end, and you would have to start over. So this really adds some pressure to the game, and I really find that fun. So basically, you're going to start off at 24 players, as the new Mario Kart World now is 24 players, up from the previous limit of 12, which I love as well. It just feels like they're really expanding and just going bigger and bigger, which is great. So it's going to start at 24 players, going to go down to 20, 16, 12, and you get the gist. Final 4 race to the win, and then the one that gets it to the end will win the game. I really hope Nintendo decides to do some achievements or a ranking, a leaderboard that's a little more in-depth and intuitive. I think that would be excellent for such a huge fan base that Mario Kart has, and I feel like it really deserves a more fleshed out leaderboard and like a ranked mode. Several things to note regarding tracks is that there have been several courses that have been noticeably found on the world map during the intermission stages, so between the tracks that are already indicated on the map. So example, in front of the entrance of Boo Cinema, there are tracks that have been found at Ghost Valley 1, 2, and 3. Similar, we have Choco Island 2 and 1 that have been located southwest of Choco Mountain, as well as Vanilla Lake 1 south of Sky High Sundae. And those are just what we found now. And I'm sure there's going to be other Easter eggs of other courses So we'll be looking out for those. Another fun little cool tidbit, Knockout Tour is going to be led by a red Lakitu compared to the green Lakitu that's been taking care of the Grand Prix mode. Quickly, I'm going to talk about battle mode. This wasn't covered at all yet. I'm sure it's going to be heavily featured in the Mario Kart World Direct on Thursday this week. So I'm really looking forward to finding out what battle mode is going to be like. Will it be different? We know for sure that Coin Runners and Balloon Battle will be returning, as it's shown in an icon on official gameplay. But we don't know anything else. Is Shine Thief returning? Is Bob-omb Battle returning? What about Renegade Roundup, that new mode from Mario Kart 8? I really like that mode. I think it was a really clever idea. But I feel like battle mode can be blown out, especially with this open world, knockout, and 24 players. They really can decide to like blow the lid off this. I think battle mode would be so fun if there was modes like Capture the Flag, Hide and Seek, Tag, some sort of King of the Hill. Like, so many other games have these fun modes that Nintendo could really just share and take some ideas from, because other companies take ideas from Nintendo, so why not? One prediction I really hope battle mode is gonna go back to its roots and go in a more survival way, similar to knockout mode, where people get eliminated if you lose your balloons or if you have no more coins left. It adds some stakes. It makes the game feel, I don't know, for me it just feels more fun. But it would be nice also as well to have a options for players that don't like that. Currently, we have seen on the world map that there is the Big Donut battle stage from N64 is shown south of Bowser's Castle, and people have also found Thwomp Desert, which I believe is the Wii battle stage, which is in the desert south of Airship Fortress, and those are just two so far. I haven't seen any other from the map from what I've looked through, but would be so fun if, for example, they had the battle stage Luigi's Mansion from Double Dash, and that would be close to like Boo Cinema, and you can kind of drive through Luigi's Mansion. I feel like that would be so fun to have in a Mario Kart World, like a Luigi's Mansion. Hello. All right, so the vehicles, carts, bikes, and ATVs are returning, but vehicles are no longer customizable like previously done in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Back to the days of Wii and earlier classic style. Instead of gliders, will be replaced by wings that your vehicle will deploy mid-air. Over water, the vehicles will transform into boats or like a water ski system. It's similarly done, I feel like, in Diddy Kong Racing, and I feel like this is a great change. I feel like Diddy Kong Racing does this way better, and I feel like Mario Kart needed some changes with the kart customization. I was getting a little stale. Honestly, when you're especially in a party or with a group setting, it takes a long time to go through those options, and people end up just wasting their time with it, and they really don't even matter. Like, not everybody knows how to drive with all the different functions, so I like this more classic style. I won't go through a list of all of the names of all the carts and bikes returning, but I'm going to have them all listed right here in front of you. Now let's move on to items. So first we'll go over overworld items. So things like item boxes, double item boxes return. We have coins. Now we have coin piles, which is basically more coins in one go. So that'll be great for 24 players, as well as the new food takeout bag. And so this item is very interesting. It resembles the wonder effects that you get from Super Mario Wonder, which I find interesting. And it's still yet to be known fully what these food takeout bags do. But we do know from gameplay that once you pick up one, it'll give you some sort of random food or drink, and once you consume them, you'll get a little boost like a mushroom. And then, not always, but sometimes your character will just wonder effect and switch into a different outfit. My theory is that the outfits are designated to certain regions and they affect your stats, because I don't see anything else that happens besides a little icon showing an unlockable symbol, which I think also means that you'll be able to unlock costumes through this method, but not the only way, but we'll get to that later. Interesting thing to notice, we found out that items now float on the water instead of sinking, so that'll be fun for when we go onto the water courses. Now we're going to go over the brand new courses to this game. We have the coin shell. This, when deployed, it goes straight through the course in the center, I believe, and it drops off plenty of coins until at the end where it drops a bunch. Then the Kamek orb, or crystal ball item. This seems we don't know for sure how everything works, but what it looks like is that Kamek will appear, he will transform all the characters, I believe, in front of the person that used the item into a minion or enemy or side character that potentially can be unlocked. And what it also does is adds barriers or roadblocks or enemies of that character that Kamek summons and changes everyone into ahead of you in the course. So basically, if it turns all of you into Spike, a bunch of spikes will be in front of the course, throwing the spike balls at you, adding more of a danger. So I feel like this is a really interesting item. It's really multifaceted, really dimensional, so I feel like that's interesting, and I like how that goes. Although it's sad that Kamek is now reduced to an item and he's not playable. All right, so now we'll go over the returning items. We have the coin box from Tour, mushroom, green shell, triple mushroom, triple green shell, red shell, triple red shell, banana peels, triple bananas, the star, golden mushroom, mega mushroom from the Wii is returning. The feather from Super Mario Kart is now not just restricted to battle mode. We can now use it in-game, and it looks like it's going to be really great for getting into certain areas or certain advantageous positions. The Flower returns, the Super Horn, Blooper, Bob-omb, Spiny Shell, Hammer returning from Tour, the Lightning, which looks like this effect has changed, Bullet Bill, the Boomerang Flower, and also returning new from Tour is the Ice Flower. Now I'm going to be going over a few key differences and changes from previous Mario Karts to Mario Kart World. Now we have the 24 players compared to the 12 players, as mentioned earlier. Grand Prix mode. Now the first track that you complete will be 3 laps. Then you'll continue to the next track by 2 laps intermission sections. And this is due to the open world nature, and I really find this change to Grand Prix really fresh and fun. There have been some alterations to your knockback from road hazards and items. For example, you can become unbalanced after hitting a car on the road instead of spinning out. So this will make things a little more dynamic, a little bit more fluid. It's not necessarily like everything is going to destroy you, especially with 24 characters, how many items are going to be flung around. If you got like completely destroyed by every single thing, I don't know how fun this game would be actually. So I feel like Nintendo really had to work out the items, work out the players, and find a way to make it work. And I think having these variances in knockback is going to help that. Also, coin limits in the race have now been increased from 10, which was their previous max, to now 20. More coins are available in Mario Kart World on the tracks and the coin piles in the overworld, and the new coin items to increase the total number of coins for 24 players, I feel like is the reason. You can now trick multiple times in the air now, and I wonder if this is going to add increased boots, but I'm sure it also looks fun. Racers can now trick when gliding. Characters can now drive cars in-game. So example, you see pictures here, Toad, Shy Guys driving. I feel like it looks super fun, and I love the comicalness. This game sometimes gives me really close vibes to Simpsons Hit and Run, and that's in like all the praise. And I mean that with all the sincerest respect, because that game is phenomenal. Enemies on tracks in-game now will be able to charge at you at incoming drivers when spotted. Now we have some item changes that I want to go over. The lightning has been nerfed. Now it hits all opponents that are ahead of the player, not all opponents in general. The fire flower has a limit of 8 fireballs, decreased from the previous 10. The boomerang flower is now buffed. It has 4 uses instead of 3. The feather allows players a trick opportunity after use, like I was saying earlier. I think the feather is going to be one of the most important. Stars can now be found on maps that are bouncing around as they do in 2D Super Mario games, which I think is so cute. The Mega Mushroom has been buffed. It negates lightning effect and does not make you shrink, so I feel like that's going to be great. Although I feel like the Mega Mushroom time limit has been maybe reduced, but we'll have to calculations in-game after. Now to quickly talk about the character costumes. As we mentioned earlier, from the food bag item that you can pick throughout the map, we have Mario. Right now I've seen a confirmed total of 9 costumes. So if you see in the one screenshot here, Mario shows that there are 10 slots for costumes, including the initial character slot. So that would be character plus 9 alt costumes. I think this is indicative that all of the 24 base characters will be getting a max of 10 total costumes in the game. So I think that's great. And so far, a lot have not been revealed, but Mario, we have seen every single one. He has his touring outfit, all-terrain, aviator, happy, cowboy, dune rider, mechanic, I believe, I think this is gonna be his vacation outfit, but it's referencing Mario Sunshine, and also his Pro Racer, which I believe is gonna be. Luigi and Peach and Yoshi have 8 different costumes revealed, while as many others have only 4, 3, or 2 so far, so more will be revealed, I'm sure, at the Mario Kart Direct. I also wanted to just take a second to address all of the different creatures and animals that have been in the game, and I feel like there's so much love to the Mario roster, all of the Mario like little characters, side characters, enemies that people forget, don't even know their names, and now they're getting more chance to be playable in some cases or just visible in general. I think it's great, and I feel like Nintendo is also taking a lot of inspiration from all of their games, from all of their franchises from the beginning till now. So you're gonna have Batadon and Toko Toko. These are from Super Mario Land, which is super awesome. The new Robo DK, which is super cool. We have characters like the Sledge Bros, Parabeetles, Behemoth that are in the maps. They don't seem to be playable yet. And then some animals that we have, there's some zebras, moose, giraffes, elephants, dromedaries, buffalo, dinosaurs, and then of course the cow, the dolphin, and the penguin, which get to be playable, which is so fun. Now quickly, we're going to talk about free roam mode. So this is the mode where you're going to openly explore the whole Mario Kart world. So basically an open world Mario Kart game, which is crazy. Who would have ever thought Mario Kart would get this open world treatment? I'm so happy for that. A couple things we can notice in the overworld so far. We have key switches, question panels, and these Peach Gold coins, which are all going to be collectibles, I believe, in the free roam mode, potentially in the single player adventure mode if we're going to be getting that, but that's just my prediction. Also, we've seen binoculars similar to Mario Odyssey. I think this is going to be great for seeing at a high vantage point to get a view of the whole Mario Kart world that we're going to be exploring. And now we're going to go into some quick predictions at the end of this. So I'm very strongly believing that we're getting a story mode or an adventure mode. This has been really teased by the Nintendo Treehouse staff, and I don't see how they don't do this, especially after the outrage over the price, how Mario Kart World is now $80 US, and it's the most expensive game, basically, since, N64 days. They're really sticking their claws in that they have a rich, amazing game, and there's a lot more to discover and a lot more that we don't know, and we have to find out. We're going to be finding out in less than 2 days. So they sound confident, and I'm already impressed with everything, so I can imagine that there's going to be even more that we can't even comprehend. We can't even fathom it. All we're thinking about is like some characters or maybe another mode, another map, but they could be crazy. They could do anything. This is crazy. I'm going to predict that in the adventure mode, what we're going to be doing is collecting rainbow fragments. And so there's the image we got in the trailer that shows that huge like structure that says home of the rainbow fragment. So I'm convinced that this is where Rainbow Road will be linked from, and we're going to be using this to access to go into space or into the sky somehow. And it just connects that so far we don't have the special cup shown. Rainbow Road is hidden. Okay, so what I'm predicting regarding these rainbow fragments is that we will be going to the different corners of the map, and there's going to be 7 different areas, and those are connected to the different Grand Prix cups. We have to go there, we have to complete the cups to unlock the fragments so that we can bring them back to our home base or whatever, and that's when we're going to unlock the special cup, which leads us somehow to Rainbow Road. And I also think that these fragments are going to be tied to a boss that we have to defeat as well. And this is where it could be tricky, because I want to predict there's going to be more characters. I'm confident there will be, but who and how many is the question. Obviously, what everyone is thinking and what I'm going to predict as well is that the Koopalings are going to return. They haven't been shown yet, but they have also been in some of the, promotions around the map. So I'm confident that we're going to see the Koopalings as bosses that we have to defeat in order to progress in the story mode. But I'm hoping there's other bosses, because PD Piranha, King Bob-omb, just to name a few of these big guys that have not been shown yet, I want them to be playable, and I feel like that's the only way I can think of that makes sense, and I really want PD to be in this game. So We're going to be able to interact with characters and enemies around the world. So you're going to be walking around NPCs, or you see characters with a little speech bubble or like a red exclamation that are going to challenge you, perhaps in a Grand Prix, a knockout, a single race, a time trial, maybe missions like in DS, maybe battle a boss like the Goom boss. I feel like this is going to be happening throughout the map. Throughout the story campaign, we're going to be able to unlock all of the 9 alt costumes for the base characters, as well as unlocking all of the other playable characters like the Sidestepper and Snowman and such. So connecting to a previous thought I had earlier regarding the costumes, that they connect to different regions, I feel like we're going to be unlocking them as we progress throughout the world and unlocking the region. So example, Daisy has an Oasis costume, and I feel like this is going to be unlocked in Shy Guy Bazaar region when she's there. Or Farmer Luigi, that farmer outfit will be unlocked when doing missions in Moo Meadows. So this is what I'm assuming we're going to be unlocking things either if you play the single player adventure mode, or if you do just regular races, you can unlock characters that way. Because I feel like it gives players the opportunity to do what they want and still be able to have all of the content, right? And that's it, guys. That's all my thoughts and analysis for Mario Kart World for the Nintendo Switch 2. Like I said, I'm so excited for this game. I want to play it right now. I'm so sad that I could not attend one of these Nintendo Switch events. But in just 2 months, we'll all be able to be playing this, and I cannot wait to stream it. Thank you guys so much for listening. Like I said, if you enjoyed this video, please, it would really help me out to consider liking, subscribing, and commenting down below. Thanks and have a great day. Goodbye.